Welcome to Cash Grab, the podcast where we look through different franchises that have been turned into video games and decide if they are cash grabs or not. I am Dan.
I am Tom.
And I am Stef.
Well done, Dan.
Cool.
That was really
Well
good.
done,
And that was
Dan.
only a second take. That's considerably less than I take. So well done.
Yeah,
No,
you've done pretty well there, mate.
As soon as I know the wording, that's okay.
Yes. It's having the pieces of the jigsaw and then knowing where to put them in place.
Yes.
Whilst in my mind, it's like having pictures of like pieces of a jigsaw, and then it's like
spitting on
and
them
then like
and kicking them across the room.
yeah, you know when like you cook spaghetti and you know it's like ready by throwing it against the wall. That's like me. I get the piece of the jigsaw, but then get confused with spaghetti, so I just throw a piece of jigsaw against the wall, and I'm like, why aren't they sticking? And then I lose some, so it becomes half a jigsaw.
Half a jigsaw.
So I just replace the empty spaces with spaghetti that I cooked earlier.
It's an
How's
exciting
your week
world.
been?
Running out of spaghetti, that's not enough for the
it's
bolognese.
true. No, well, it's not enough to eat. I keep using it as a puzzle piece. Doesn't work very well as a puzzle piece.
But yeah, so I've been playing some more Final Fantasy 15.
Yes.
But, I mean, at the time of recording, they kicked up the Assassin's Creed Festival.
Yeah, I had an issue with this last
So,
time.
yeah.
And
so
I've still got an issue with it.
They've then said that the Moogle Chocobo Carnival is
Fuck's
going to
sake.
end.
Okay.
And I've got one last item to get, which is like for catching a fish, you get a new fishing rod.
Okay.
So I'm after that. So
It's-
I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to do the Assassin's Creed Festival, and then blah blah blah.
Fucking assassin.
So I've been playing a bit of that. But what I have been doing, which is
Yeah.
a bit off topic to games,
Okay.
but it still makes sense.
Okay,
is
come on.
I've been getting on the hype train for Dragon Ball Fighter Z,
Oh,
Yes.
and because of this, I've started
You have
watching
spoken about it
Dragon
quite a bit.
Ball. Yeah, I can't wait to play it.
Wait,
Oh,
what,
so
okay.
I've
Fighter Z, is that a game or?
Yeah, it's a new game.
It's
Okay.
going to be coming soon. When is it coming out?
I don't know.
No. It looks good.
coming soon. It looks really good.
It's quite like a traditional like 2D fighter.
2D fighter, but
But
Dragon
Oh,
Ball.
okay,
it looks very good fun.
Yeah, so because of that, I've now been watching Dragon Ball, the original series.
Right.
You've mentioned this briefly to me the other day.
Yeah, because I never watched Dragon Ball. When I was a kid, I got into Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, me and you both did, except for you, Dan. Didn't
No, I've never seen any of it.
No,
Amazing.
it's really good.
It is.
And I got well into it, and I was like, I loved it. I've watched it a couple of times, like the whole series.
Yeah.
So then, like, I was like, oh, I want to watch it, but I've never actually watched Dragon Ball, so I don't know the origin of Goku or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I went back to the original. It's weird. It's really weird. There's so many weird sexual references in it.
You were saying like, but it's basically a lot of them are revolving around Bulma.
It's
right?
all Bulma. Yeah, so Bulma.
Is she like the
meets-
only female in it, really?
So far, yeah.
Oh right, okay.
I'm only on like episode
Great name.
6.
Yeah.
I think there's been females, but they've been like little girls.
Yes.
So that don't count.
Mind your words now.
But like,
Easy.
so here we go. This
Easy.
this is a scene, right? So they find. Do you remember Master Roshi?
Yes.
Right, and his turtle.
Yes.
They find.
Okay,
his,
I was following you with Roshi. I've heard that one before.
Yeah.
His turtle.
yeah, he's got like a talking
Just
turtle.
oh yeah, it does talk. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my question. Yeah.
They find the turtle in the jungle, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, I've been wandering through."
Totally
trying to...
factually incorrect, by the way.
Yeah, well, he says he's trying
Turtles
to
are
get.
sea dwellers.
He's trying to get to the sea, but he can't, and he's getting lost.
Oh.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So Goku's like, "Oh, I'll take you to the sea. It's only 20 miles that way."
Hang on. Sorry to interrupt again. If he's got lost, right, he would have come from the sea because they would have to be born on a beach and babies instinctually go to the sea. So he came from the sea. He came onto land.
Maybe
right?
someone smuggled the egg in.
Yeah,
You've never
full
seen
oh
the-
no,
would have
he's
said it.
he's a full-grown turtle. He's been living for a long
Yep,
time.
Oh, okay.
exactly.
So someone must have thrown him into the jungle. I don't know.
okay, okay.
Fucking go with it.
all right.
Go with Goku.
I'll let this one slide.
So then, right. So the whole mission is for them to find the Dragon Balls.
Yes.
Which, if you get all, was it 7?
7, yeah.
7. You you cast a wish, and
Yeah.
you can wish whatever you want.
Yeah.
So, they're going on a detour to drop this turtle back at the sea. So they take him back, put him in the sea, and he's like, "Oh, wait here, and I'll come back with a present."
The turtle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're waiting on the beach, and then the turtle comes back with Master Roshi on his back. And now, if you've seen Dragon Ball Z,
Not much of a present.
No,
Let's be
but
honest.
you know that Master Roshi is a huge perv, and he always
Yes.
has been for the whole of Dragon
Yeah,
Ball
yeah,
Z.
yeah. That's never changed.
But there was nothing like this Right, so what happened
Here
was
we go.
Master Roshi appears. He gives Goku the flying Nimbus, the cloud.
Yes, yeah.
And then Bulma's like,
That's a good present.
yeah, really good present.
Yeah.
And then Bulma's like, well, what about me? I don't know I deserve a present. And
No.
he's like,
Oh yeah.
oh, well, I don't know if you helped out. And then Bulma spots that he has a Dragon Ball necklace.
Mm.
So Bulma's like, I want that. I want the Dragon Ball.
Mm.
And then Master Roshi basically says, I'll give it to you if you flash your underwear.
I love it. Yeah, okay.
Right? So then Bulma flashes her underwear,
Yes.
but she's not wearing any. So you see her bum.
Hang on. Just one thing I've got to say, by the way. Because you mentioned to me the other day that Bulma in this isn't quite an adult.
She's a teenager. That's
Okay,
all they've said.
so-
They've just said she's
so
a teenager.
Bulma is a teenager, right? So let's assume like 15.
I'd like to assume 18.
She ain't though, is she?
She's
not.
I'd like to
let's-
assume she's 18.
We all would, but let's be honest. But why is a 15-year-old not wearing underwear in the first place?
Oh, right. That does get explained.
Of course it does.
So she flashes.
Is this going to be like quiet in Metal Gear Solid 5? Oh no, I breathe through my vagina.
I breathe through my bum. Yeah, that's the worst cop out of that.
It's
isn't it?
fucking ridiculous, isn't it?
Right, so then she flashes and Master Roshi's like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then like gives her the Dragon Ball and they go on their way.
Gives her a
And
couple
then-
of Dragon Balls, I reckon.
And then she's like, later on, she's like back at the house with Goku.
Uh-huh.
And then she goes, oh, I can't believe I had to show her my underwear. And then she like goes to grab her underwear. And then she's like,
Yeah.
I'm not wearing any underwear. And then Goku picks up the underwear. He's like, oh yeah, I took these off this morning.
He's 8.
Why? Why did he do? I don't understand it. And then like, it's
He's
so
he's
weird.
a pervy kid. It
yeah,
is
and
weird,
like,
isn't
and
it?
like, I've on like 6 episodes and I've seen Goku naked like 3 times.
You know what's
It's-
really...
In conclusion,
it's
I'm
so
never
weird.
going to watch Dragon
But
Ball.
you know what's really interesting, right? And I'm not saying this in a rude way, but the Japanese are quite repressed sexually.
Yeah.
They're quite a repressed sexual country, or people. And it's interesting that in their most, the animes that are kind of for children seem to be so sexually explicit. Do you know what I mean?
It's just
The thing
weird.
I know it's not necessarily just for children. I know, like, people of all ages, creeds and colours, like, what's Dragon Ball Z, blah, 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 blah. But still, I mean, come on. There's
like-
something going on
there's
there.
something
Do you know what I
odd.
mean?
It's very odd.
The Japanese culture is very polite, and
Yeah.
on the surface, outdoors, everyone has their role, and
Yes.
everything happens behind locked doors.
Yes,
Yeah,
this
because,
is it. Some
there's-
fucking crazy
as soon
shit
as
must
you're
happen
in-
behind locked doors.
Oh,
in
God,
Japan.
yeah.
Well, that's
If this is what they show on TV.
Exactly.
that's how they are. They enjoy it, and they're known for it.
Oh my god.
Anyway, what have you two been doing? Still
Right.
Dragon Age?
Still Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Right, like
Still
40
going?
something hours in now. But you know what I realised?
Go on.
Because obviously I played it before in the past, but like it's a typical BioWare game, so like a lot of what you want to be doing in the game is like talking to your companions and stuff
Yeah,
and
yeah.
getting the information. And I realised just how much I missed last time. Like I think my first playthrough, I wouldn't be shocked if I skipped over half of the content of the game. Just because I let it go past and forgot
Yeah,
to
you
talk
just
to people.
cracked on
Yeah.
with it, yeah.
So now it's like, it's taking fucking ages. But I'm enjoying it so much because I've learned so much more shit that I didn't know before. It's
That's
fucking
good.
brilliant. So I'm still, literally, it's the only thing I've been playing, focused on it.
Nice.
And it's fucking brilliant.
Dan?
I blasted through that visual novel I was playing through.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
the
yes.
comic book.
Yeah. It was really interesting, and I mean there was a lot of like factual. Like,
What was it called again?
Steins Gate.
Steins Gate, yeah.
The thing about it was it mixed fiction and fact really
Right.
well because it's based on science, a lot of it.
Yes.
And some of it was like they had actual like theories about time travel, which they looped in, conspiracy theories that they've looped in that have happened on the internet in the past.
Yes.
And it was really intricately weaved.
Yes.
Obviously, there's major liberties taken when it gets to the time
Did
travel.
anyone time travel back and murder Einstein?
No. Einstein was referenced,
I knew he would be.
but
Because he's always referenced
he's
in
always
time travel.
referenced.
Yeah, you're right, actually. He always
He
is, isn't
always
he?
is referenced in time travel. But if you did go back and assassinate Einstein at the right time, there'd be no atomic bomb. And how would have things ended up with World War II? Because Japan wouldn't have surrendered, because Hiroshima would have never happened.
Yeah, but if Einstein didn't make it, someone would have made it.
Yeah, like They probably had like
I didn't even know Einstein made an atomic bomb.
He didn't make it.
no.
probably-
He
Did he like give the theory as to how to do it?
yes.
Yes,
So
that makes more sense because
Yes.
wasn't it the Manhattan Project? Was the atomic bomb?
Mr. Manhattan, the blue
No.
one. that's that
Again,
was,
weaving
that
fact
was-
and fiction.
Yeah, that was Hiroshima. Just
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Manhattan. You know that scene in Watchmen where he's like striding through Vietnam and he's like taller than a mountain. That's
That's what
just-
happened.
That was Hiroshima. He just like footstep. Shouldn't be saying this. Really disrespectful.
So talking of something based on science, should we talk about where
are we going
What came here
with
to do?
Are
Because
we-
this is very
Science?
factual.
Physics, right? Okay. So the big reveal. We are doing Action Man today. Not literally speaking, figuratively speaking.
I've got him down on the bed.
So yeah.
Oh, poor Action Man.
He'll be Traction Man soon.
So
enough.
this is Action Man. You're a bad person. This is Action Man, the 2000 TV series.
Yeah.
So
God.
obviously it was released in 2000.
Yes.
I thought it was released much earlier.
Well, basically, I mean, it looks like it was released earlier. Basically, we watched, as we would, we watched season 1, episode 1, so we've just gone right from the start, and the episode is called Competitive Edge,
Yep.
and it was released in August 5th, 2000.
It is on YouTube if anyone wants to go and watch it.
I recommend you do. I seriously recommend you do, and like, there's no shame in it. Don't worry.
Watch
like,
the opening credits, and that's good enough. For
Yes. No. Right. So let's get into it. So basically, this is something I learned straight off the bat. Okay, Action Man's real name. You ready for this? Alex Mann. And that's fucking brilliant, isn't it? I mean, you couldn't be more inventive with somebody who's
Called Action Man.
whose hero initials are AM. What would his real life name be? AM. It's like calling Spider-Man Stanley Peters. No, that's SP.
Oh my God! Sorry.
I fucked up already.
Yes.
Stanley Manley. You know? Spider-Man's
Stanley
real life name
I'm
is
sorry,
Stanley
if
Manley.
I ever met
And nobody
someone
ever...
called Stanley Manley.
Yeah, and like Batman would be Barry Manley. Barry Manilow.
I was
So-
wondering what this
but-
obsession with Manley is.
But the thing is, they've literally just gone, right, it's called Action Man. Let's leave the surname the same and change Actions of Alex.
Although they did put 2 N's in man.
Is he German?
Woo, it changes everything, doesn't it?
It does.
So in this, so obviously, Action Man was the toys. Who had an action? Did everyone have an
Hell
Action
yeah.
Man?
Yeah, I had a couple. You didn't
Yeah.
have an Action Man either.
No, no.
You didn't have any Action Man.
Dan, I'm sorry.
telling you, I
you
didn't do
watch
any-
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
You didn't have an Action Man.
yeah.
What the fuck?
I read.
You read Action Man comics?
No,
Yeah.
I read. I just read.
Read what?
Classics.
you know.
Classics? No, you didn't. I'm sorry. There's me and Steph there with like naked Action Men, and don't look at me
Well,
weird.
you
they were
always
always
had,
naked.
The thing is, you always had like a box. So what it was, you had a box that had
always
different
naked.
Action Men in it.
Wait,
right?
what age range do you play? Were you playing with? Action
27.
Yeah, I was going
Fair
in the future. No,
Like,
I don't know,
is
like
it 5 to 8 or like?
yeah,
10?
yeah, like 5 to 8.
5 to 8.
I would argue the case of all ages welcome.
Yeah. But what it
enough.
was, right? You had like, so you get an Action Man, and he would have one sole purpose. So you'd get like the Karate Chop Action Man, then
Yes.
you'd get the Scuba Action Man,
Yes.
then you get the like Parachute Action Man.
Yes, and then you get Fashion Show Milan Action Man.
It just sounds
But
like,
what
yeah,
the
so
thing was that
basically
always
it's a male
happened-
Barbie.
it's a male Barbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what happened was
A Barbie.
you'd always get the
Barbie.
climbing Action Man because he was like the most common normal one,
Yeah.
and he was like
Did he, used
he
to have
was
a flat
in
top?
shorts.
A flat top?
Yeah, yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he had like grease back hair.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I must
I
be
dunno.
thinking. Oh, I'm thinking
Like
Stretch
Pierce,
Armstrong.
like
Oh,
Pierce,
I keep thinking of
fucking
Stretch
hell.
Armstrong.
he looked like Action Man had like same hairstyle as Pierce Brosnan.
Yes,
Don't-
he did actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had the climbing one who had shorts and he had like a little vest thing on.
Yeah,
But you could
that's
take
it.
the vest off and the shorts off.
Yeah.
Of course you could.
And they
It's
always
what
got
you do.
lost.
Yes. Yes. Lost. But no, so like yeah, it was part of like the ritual of having an Action Man. You just
There was always
you
a naked
you
Action
got-
Man in
you
the
had
box.
to get him naked. In fact, still to this day, right, because of my nephews, my
You
mum
were-
has
you were
toys, and there's an Action Man that they have in the bath when they come over, and they have like a bath or something.
Is he the scuba diving Action Man?
He
or
is the scuba diving one, without the scuba diving gear.
Oh,
So it's
no.
just naked Action Man.
See, because I had a scuba diving Action Man who was all blue, and you pressed a button on his back, and he like breathed bubbles out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was
one doesn't
really
do it.
cool,
This one
yeah.
doesn't do it.
Yeah.
I still got the ninja one, and you know what's brilliant is that there's one item of clothing you can't take off. Headband. How irrelevant is that?
You can be naked except
It was
for his
like
headband.
brilliant.
I'm sorry, we spent like the first 5 minutes ripping on Goku for taking this girl's underwear, and now you guys at the same age as Goku, I presume.
Yeah, but
have
we
just
didn't put it
been-
on TV.
Yeah, that's true.
We kept it between
I don't think
ourselves.
it's any better.
This is like an intervention.
Don't
I'm going to
any
burst into
better.
tears any second. Okay.
Right, so in this, Action Man is an extreme sports athlete.
Yeah, it's not quite what I expected, to be honest.
And
Because obviously I always thought Action Man was actually, talking about Pierce Brosnan, quite similar to the whole James Bond thing.
That's
like
how
an
I
agent.
always
I
pictured
thought he
it.
was like a spy or
Yeah,
a
exactly.
military.
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
dude.
exactly.
That's how I always pictured it. And I think he was. I think that was his thing. But for this TV show,
Yeah.
they took it to the extreme.
With an X.
They probably did
The
that so they could.
extreme.
They probably did it so they could market it to kids more. So
It's
he
not
wasn't going into the
excessively
jungle with a gun.
violent.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
So yeah, so basically, it starts off with probably the best theme tune ever.
Oh,
It's
best
called
fucking
it's called
theme tune.
Amp It Up Action Man.
Amp it up, Action Man! That's literally how it goes. Yeah. And it's like just a distorted
like-
guitar in the background. Like,
please give me the end.
oh, I know what you want.
Yeah.
You want Action Man, the greatest hero of them all!
There we go.
That's the one, isn't
And
it?
it's just like it's just a montage of really bad CGI of like
Oh,
Action
man.
Man on different machines.
I thought it was like the earliest
stuff?
use of CGI. That's why I thought it must be before
It's
2000. but-
Yeah, it's like first thing is like him on a skateboard, then him on roller skates doing a flip, then him on like a boogie board, then him in the snow on this thing doing like a dark side flip, and then him on a helicopter. It's just like it's basically a testament to how good you can be at extreme sports if you just put your mind to it.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure if you
It's a very inspirational
yeah,
quote there.
yeah, you'd challenge him. You'd be like, all right, Action Man, I know you can skateboard. I know you can inline like the best of them. But can you BMX? And he'd be like, watch me. Just fucking watch me.
I didn't find it quite
And then-
as impressive, but
But then he would literally, like, ride his BMX vertically up a skyscraper and then put C4 on it at the top of the skyscraper, blow it up. In turn, the building would start to crumble, and he just jumps off on a wingsuit and flies off to, like, fucking Nairobi or something.
Yeah. So the opening scene was something similar.
And you're like, you left your wallet.
the opening scene.
Oh,
You left your pants behind. Why are you naked?
The thing with the opening scene, after all that massive montage
Yes.
in the opening sequence, the opening credits,
Yes.
it started off with them like really badly rollerblading.
Yeah. So basically,
Yeah.
it
And
starts
it
off
looked-
with an extreme
it looked-
sports event.
It looked pants.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
It amped it up though.
Yes.
Yeah, so-
Action Man.
so it starts off with the first extreme sports event, which is them rollerblading down like on some rooftops. And you've got Alex Mann, and you've got
all I remember is his name was Brandon, but I don't remember the last name.
and you got Brandon, who's like his main rival.
The thing is, though, in considering it's an extreme sports event, right? So it's a big deal, and obviously some money's gone into it because they've built a fucking glowing racetrack on top of multiple buildings.
Yeah,
It's
they've
really
got
weird
helicopters. And,
slide system.
Yeah,
that
and
came
they've got
halfway through.
helicopters and news there and everything. They've got 2 competitors.
I think there's more, but I think these two went out in front.
They must be fucking miles ahead. How fast can you go on inline skates? Like,
Well, these guys
how
are
many seconds can you
extreme.
make up?
Well, to be honest,
Do you know what I mean?
at the end of the
How
ep-
good must
at-
you be?
on the second event we see, the other competitors all like crash out in the first like 10 seconds.
That's a good point.
They're
point.
just really shit.
Good point.
They're
Good
terrible.
point.
It's-
Okay,
it's
the level
not
of
that,
competition has quite a big spike.
Yeah, it's not that these two are good. It's just that everyone else is shit.
Shit. Okay, that does make sense.
So it starts
Okay.
off with these two skating down rooftops with glowing pathways.
Yes.
And then do they jump onto the helicopter then? No.
They do the
jump-
Oh,
slide.
they
jump
do. They jump
between,
onto
like-
the helicopter.
Yeah.
So they've each got a helicopter team as well.
Yes, they do.
And they
yeah.
throw out a rope, and then they skate onto the ramp, jump up, grab the rope, like swing on the rope,
Jesus
and then they
Christ.
release onto this slide system, and they just slide through the city
Yes,
on this
yeah, that's
mental
right.
slide
Way
system.
too much effort.
I actually forgot about that.
It's mental, and then they jump off that and then cling onto the ropes again from the planes.
Yes,
And this is
must
where
be quite good pilots.
oh yeah, they must be amazing. Yeah.
They to preempt all of the movements in the course and stuff.
Yeah.
Hats
So
off-
this
hats
is
off to the
this is
pilots.
where shit hits the fan.
Yeah, things get real now.
Mm.
Things get really real. So basically, he jumps off, and when they're kind of like both grab onto their ropes, Brandon is very much aware that he's going to be losing. Is this where he grabs onto the chimney?
Yeah. So Brandon knows that he's losing.
So
Yeah.
Brandon knows that he's losing. So Brandon has this like quick thinking moment. He's like, right, physics, total physics. And he grabs onto a chimney whilst the helicopter is still accelerating. And we didn't say this whilst we were watching it, but a testament to the strength of Brandon that actually past the point of that helicopter accelerating, past the point of tension of the rope, he's still hanging onto a fucking chimney.
Yeah, it's
Now-
quite impressive.
Now, to counteract the power of a helicopter with your arms,
It's quite.
you've
you
got
know,
to be
quite a
pretty
feat.
fucking
The thing
tough.
is, the rope didn't look like bungee rope either, did it? It didn't look like
No,
a bungee
it
cord. It just
looked
looked
like
like
a-
rope.
For a
it
minute,
looked
I
like
was
some
like,
fucking
what
hemp.
on earth is he trying to do? That's not going to work. It's not a bungee rope.
No.
But it
But
must
then
have been.
apparently it is
Apparently
a bungee
it is,
rope.
Yeah. So the kind of force of the opposing helicopter then propels him at great velocity towards the finish line and closer to Alex Mann. I'm going to refer to him as Alex Mann. I'll use his Christian name. And he gets there and he's like just about to touch the like checkered flag, which is apparently winner.
Yeah, you have to grab the flag.
I mean,
not just go.
could just cross a
go-
fucking
not just go
line
past
or like a
it.
banner or some shit.
Yeah, you
it's
have to
like,
grab the
yeah,
flag.
exactly. So he goes to touch it, and then the force is just not enough. He gets propelled back, but then there's a twisting of ropes, and Alex Mann and Brandon. This is really fucking hard to all keep in my head at the same time.
Yeah,
by
yeah,
the
yeah,
way.
yeah.
They start getting twisted. One of the ropes gets flung up into the air and starts getting like spun around in the blades
Yeah,
of
so
the
one of them
helicopter.
hits the helicopter blade,
Yes.
and that sends Brandon and was it Brandon?
Yes. I
Yeah,
think so.
Brandon and Alex go flying off.
Yes.
So they're still like wrapped around each other with the bungee ropes.
Brandon Kane.
Brandon Kane, and then the other rope, which is still attached to one helicopter by the rotor blades and one helicopter by the bottom of it,
Yeah.
somehow got looped into the like rotor mechanism.
We forgot to say this is in Paris, France, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's in Paris.
Remember that.
So the rotor keeps spinning, and as it's spinning, it's pulling in the other helicopter.
Yes.
But the rope was coming in from above, so
Yeah, it was-
the blades would just keep ripping the rope,
The-
or they'd rip it one more time, and that
Yeah.
would be the end of it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
No.
Because physics.
The editing
physics.
job on this was just so bizarre. If you look away for a second, you just wouldn't know where you'd be.
We haven't actually. We should have probably pointed it out earlier, but the animations, the movements, like the movements of them rollerblading.
Oh,
like
that's what made it look really bad.
everything is so shit.
It's really stiff, awkward
It's
animations.
so bad. And the thing is, it's like it's one of those things. Obviously, it's age. This is closing in on 20 years old now. So I mean, inevitably, the passage of time has meant that things have gone a certain way.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
And we're not in this place anymore. Thank fuck. It's like living in Nazi Germany or something. Terrible. But at the same time, like, oh no, it definitely is. Dan.
Oh, no,
This is what they must have felt on a daily basis.
Oh, I'm
God.
It's true. It's true.
I'm not going to
They
say
probably
to that.
they probably forced the Hitler youth
Maybe-
to
maybe-
watch this. Beamed it from the future.
God.
Kill me now.
Tangent.
Oh yeah, sorry. On topic.
Back to action.
Stay
man.
on target. Okay. What was I? Animations.
Yes.
They're fucking awful. And I even think, even like for the like late 90s, early 2000s, I still think this is bad animating. It's just like either the budget was bad or they had a poor team.
Yeah,
Because-
the animation. I think at that time
my
everyone
God.
was trying something new. But I
Because-
mean,
yeah.
it was
Because it must have been a
wasn't
small
good.
budget or something. Because wasn't like Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within a similar time? It was around 2000.
Yeah, I think it was about the same.
And
kind
I
of
mean,
time.
like you know, that has aged as well. But
It looks a lot better
it's
than this.
Nowhere fucking
Wasn't good.
near.
Wasn't good either.
No, well, it's not a good film.
No.
It's a terrible film.
But
Anyway,
it
back to
looked
Action Man.
nice.
Oh yeah,
So-
Action Man.
You've got one helicopter being pulled into the other helicopter's rollerblades. You've got
Yes.
Alex and Brandon flying off,
Holding on to each other.
holding on to each other.
Oh yeah, they were, weren't they?
So you've got Alex's crew on his helicopter,
Yes.
and they're
Who-
all there. You've got a few different members.
Oh,
You've got Fidget,
I like Fidget.
Grinder,
Oh, I wonder why.
And Ricky. Why?
and I think it was Ricky.
Why? Why would I like what? You wonder why?
You look on to female characters.
No, I don't.
No, Tom doesn't have a history of finding an attractive person in every episode.
No, I don't.
I hate the
I don't
animation. She looks nice though.
I like Fidget. It's her personality I like.
She was annoying.
Really.
So
That's probably what I like.
so they're all freaking out.
Yes, as they should be.
Well,
Alex Man is
Fidget's
doomed.
freaking out. The other guy's freaking out. And I think Grinder was the one that was always too calm.
Cool
I
as
ask a
cool as
question?
cucumber.
Can I ask a question?
What?
Do you reckon Grinder was?
Don't.
Do you reckon he? Feels,
No, you can't
do you
answer.
reckon he feels a bit bad now in 2017, knowing that there's a gay dating website
Yeah,
named
named
after him? And
Yeah, I
I'm,
think-
I'm sure there's a fidget app out there as well.
Probably,
I
yeah.
fancy a fidget.
Yeah, it's got.
Easy.
That's a.
If only they had. If only they had a third member called
I'm-
Squirt.
Oh, I don't know. Grinder might have been. He might have been fine with it. He might be gay. Who knows?
I reckon he's hung
Yeah.
himself.
Oh.
Oh, sorry,
Bit extreme.
sorry, hanged himself.
Oh god.
So then you've got they're all freaking out, and then they were like, "What do we do? What do we do? We're being pulled
Yeah.
into the rollerblades. What do we do?" And then they just press a button and release the rope.
Yeah, it was. It was
They
That was literally
abandoned
it.
him.
so fucking simple.
It was.
wasn't
It couldn't have been easier.
so fucking
But
simple.
they waited right to the end to do it. It's like, well, why don't you just do that straight away?
Dramatic effect.
Yeah, but it looks stupid.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think Action Man or Alex Man's career relies on it, because if there was no dramatic effect, he wouldn't be the Action Man, would he?
They
Yeah,
couldn't
good point.
release the rope with them still hanging on, unless they were at a safe height.
Oh,
They weren't hanging on.
They were hanging on. They were hanging on from the helicopter still on one of their ropes.
Were
Oh.
they?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm telling you, the editing job was terrible. That's why.
Yeah.
Or understandably, you can't tell what's going
Well,
on.
that's when we then see Action Man's special power.
Eagle
Eagle
vision.
vision.
Eagle
It's got
vision.
eagle
Yeah.
vision. So the world kind of stops, or at least time slows briefly for a second, and everything kind of goes blue.
Everything goes blue, and
Yeah.
he sees a lot of numbers flying around the place.
So I made a note of it that Alex Mann has eagle vision, and also a connection to Nick Cage's character in Knowing. He
Yes.
sees numbers everywhere. So now it's pretty clear that Alex Mann, or Action Man, is an autistic savant. Like Rain Man.
Yes.
And that makes sense, because if you are an autistic savant, it's clear that they like to put man at the end of your name. Rain Man, Action Man.
The two from history.
That's the only two I can think of.
Yeah, so he sees
Mozart
these
man.
numbers, and then he. So as the numbers are flying past different objects he's looking at, some of them turn gold. So that's where the eagle vision comes in.
Yes.
And then he looks at these different items, and he can then somehow escape using them.
He somehow seems
can
to
see the path.
understand. Yeah, he understands kind of the interactions of the surrounding world, and so then for some reason he knows exactly what the fuck to do. I mean, even if I had that, or you had that, right? If any of us did, and things started turning gold, you'd be like, "What the fuck do I do with that?"
Yeah,
It's
like,
like, do you throw something at it? Do you grab it? Do you move? Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
like,
So if I looked around the room now, and then my guitar turned gold, and then my fan turned gold, and then my bloody plant turned gold. What would I?
I'd
Do I
be
pick up the
rich.
guitar, smack the fan, and then water the plant? What do I do?
exactly. This is the thing. It's
How
just
do they
like,
relate
this is
to each
God,
other?
life's confusing.
No, the one thing that irked me is that he's like working out maths in his head and the
Yes.
equations of everything, how it's going to work.
Yes.
There was no signs. There was numbers, but there was no plus sign, multiplication, division. There was nothing.
But then it could be like binary. It could be numbers.
Then it would just be
But
zero and
binary
one.
is zeros and ones.
Yeah, but he could be so beyond binary. He could be like,
Oh, God.
no, it could be like action binary. So it's like it doesn't need zeros and ones. It's so beyond.
Yeah, because a
It's beyond human
five equals a
understanding.
plus sign. 6 is a division
Yeah,
sign.
it's like in complex algebra when x becomes like a sequence, and Y becomes an untold number and all of this stuff. Like I can't understand it. But
But Action Man
but to
can.
some people, it's like a language. They get it. This is what it's like to Action Man. You know, he sees all this stuff and he's like, I get it. It's like somebody talking to me from the ether.
Yeah, I get that's where they were going with it.
Yeah,
But-
but obviously in a 2000s shitty TV show, which is
looks
very badly
terrible.
done, it doesn't really come across quite as
No.
dramatic. It just
First, I couldn't
looks
even tell they were numbers.
Yeah. So an Action Man saves the day.
Of
And,
course.
In the most ridiculous fashion.
I don't even remember how he does it.
No.
No, because the editing job again. But he somehow wraps, because the helicopter is out of control, and he wraps a bungee cord to hold one of the helicopters up that's about to crash into this
Oh yeah, into the
really
car.
weird
That's
guy.
right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The
It
guy
just-
was looking out the front of his window when something was landing on him from above.
Yeah. He just stops
Interesting
still,
fella.
not moving the car, just going,
Yeah, I mean, there's a few situations you can do. I mean, one, you wouldn't be able to look up because you didn't have a sunroof. So if you look up in your car, you just see a roof.
Very true.
You then see a slightly in front of you up, but you
Yep.
don't see directly up. So he wasn't like leaning forwards or anything. He was
No,
just
he
literally
just-
sat in a driver's seat looking,
No.
And
he still knew the helicopter was there. So well done to him.
to be completely honest, he looked like a very suspicious man. He probably deserved.
he?
He should have got that helicopter on him.
And in fairness,
I
he
think-
was
I
the
bet
only
he's-
audience member. I just realised nobody's watching this event.
They're just doing it for fun.
Yeah, it's just a laugh, isn't it?
Just a waste of money.
Yeah, good point.
I bet he's the villain.
No.
He's Professor X or whatever.
No, it's not.
He was wearing glasses.
Well, we saw Professor X later.
It's Doctor
Not a
X.
chance this guy's Professor X. Oh, Dr. X, that's it.
Professor X is his cousin.
They took different paths. Yeah, so Action Man saves the day by wrapping the bungee cord attached to him and Brandon and the helicopter around a crane.
Yes.
After breaking Brandon's leg
Yeah,
accidentally.
at which point, Brandon breaks his legs, so then
They head
Brandon's
to-
in hospital.
Yes, hospital.
Hospital.
Which we found out because Steph pointed out that they misspelt hospital, and we all thought it. Like, it was Hopital. It turns out that is
How you spell it in French.
the French for hospital.
Yeah, we realised.
We don't know the correct pronunciation of it.
Hospital.
Hospital?
I don't know.
I guess that makes sense.
It
I like
does,
to call
I
it
mean.
hospital.
Yeah, I prefer hospital.
Hospital. So is that the hospital?
At first, we had a moment of like pure hilarity, and then we went, "Oh no, they're just being attentive to detail." So,
Yeah, no,
Like the one time they were actually totally in real
totally
life.
spot on, yeah.
so points to them for that.
Yeah, exactly. Props to them. So yeah, so Brandon is in hospital, and Alex
Sounds
Man.
like a country.
Yeah, and Alex Man comes to see him. Previously, by the way, on the transitioning moment where Alex Man is in his airship called Big Sky. Big Sky, was it Big Sky?
Don't know. Didn't flew me by that one.
Because they have the news thing after the event, don't they? Like, oh, Alex Mann saved the day and saved his friend and everything's okay. And then he's in the thing and he gets a message, doesn't he? And he gets that weird message saying, blah, 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 don't take candy from strangers.
Yeah, which is life advice for everybody.
It is life advice. If you're listening now or watching, then take that on board.
Never take candy from strangers.
Never take candy from strangers.
Yeah, so
Or
he
if
gets
you're in
that.
Britain.
Which he then does.
Oh, wait, hold on. We forgot the
What?
team motto.
Okay,
Oh.
should I say it?
God.
The team motto is check it out, dial it in, amp it up. And that's Team Extreme's motto. And that's extreme with an X.
Of course it
Team
is, because it's extreme.
It makes it so much cooler if it's with an X.
Yeah.
I just don't understand this motto because there's so many things that
What do you want to know,
means-
Dan?
Okay,
Let's start with check it out.
okay, check it out. Simple,
Okay.
understandable.
Okay, so you want to go on to the next bit?
Yeah, yeah.
Dial it in.
Done it. Are they saying, "Oh, check it out"? Because at that point, it sounds like they're either dial it in, as in phoning it in, which
Yes.
wouldn't make sense.
Good
It's
point.
like, why are they phoning in their job?
Yes.
Piss takers. Or check it out, dial it in. It sounds like a PSA for like fire safety or crime prevention. Check it out, dial it in. Oh.
You know what?
Yeah, it's
It's
like the
kids.
stroke. You know the stroke
I
one?
was just
Yeah.
about to say that.
Yeah.
I was just about to say. But it wouldn't work very well with that, would it?
No.
Check it out, dial it in, amp it up.
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 I mean, check it out and amp it up. I sort of get. But it's just that dial it in.
Why? I think dial it in's the one that makes the most sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Does it not?
No sense at all.
No.
Dialing it in just means like be in the moment.
Check it out. Dial it in. What? So like, dial it in as in
It's
understand what's happening,
it's
and
like-
then you amp it up.
It's like if I went on these words could be applied to me very easily in separate succession. Okay, if you wanted to show me something on Cash Grab, you'd say check it out. Okay,
Yeah.
when I'm on one of my tangents,
Dial it in.
dial it in. Okay,
Okay.
and when I'm a bit quiet,
Amp it up.
amp it up.
Okay.
So there's a new Cash Grab motto.
Oh,
So
God.
now this is the Cash Grab motto. Check it out, dial it in, amp it up. So you see, it makes perfect sense.
No,
Alex Mann.
you've made a bit
Hero.
of sense there. You've made a bit of
I've
sense.
made
You
a-
made sense of a bullshit
Yeah,
motto.
it's still absolute crap.
I can make sense of most things that are bullshit. It's
Yeah.
real life
Check it
that I
out,
struggle
dial it
with.
in, amp it up.
Right, so then we're in the hospital,
Hospital. Yep.
and Brandon's in bed.
Yes.
And
and he's
then,
looking a bit
Oh.
worse for wear.
and then Alex walks in, and he's like, "Oh,
Sorry,
know,
ma'am.
sorry, what happened?" And Brandon's like, "No, you saved me, thank you." Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. So they're rivals, but they get on.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Healthy competition.
and then Brandon says, "Oh, but the sponsorship are going to drop, and I don't have a team anymore." So
Gets quite real.
So yeah, so Alex is like, "Look, you can roll with my crew if you need to."
And that's literally the words.
That's
he
literally what he
uses.
said. Yeah. So then, Brandon's like, "Oh, thanks," So Alex
Yeah.
has put himself out there, and he said, "Look, join us if you need."
Yes.
We
very,
won't let
very
you go.
sincere gesture.
So
I
very
thought.
nice. Then there's a knock at the door,
Mm.
and there's a box of chocolates left outside the door.
Never
What-
take
what do
candy
you ever
from
do?
Strangers.
Never take candy
Never
from
take candy
strangers.
strangers.
What did Alex do?
He took the candy from the no one.
Yes.
There was no one there.
So he
It
took the
wasn't
box
for
in.
anybody.
He opened it up, and there was like a scarab beetle, like a metal scarab.
It
kinda
was
looking
something,
beetle.
but yeah,
Weird
some sort of metallic
spider.
insect,
Yeah.
spidery,
So
scorpion
then
scarab.
that flew onto the TV, and in classic 2000, like
Yes.
like sci-fi fucking
it's-
technology, they take over the TV with Dr. X.
Shadowed.
Yes, it's basically like a shadowed man, and all you can see is a glowing eye.
Yeah,
So
so he's
look,
got one
look,
glowing eye.
I've got a point to make right here, okay? Because Dr. X is basically giving them, what would you say, like a choice? He's giving them the opportunity for more. And he's saying, we can upgrade you, we can enhance you, we can physically make you better and perform better.
Yeah.
And Action Man or Alex Man has a very clear-cut statement. I think it's a very, very clear-cut statement on steroid abuse in the sports industry. And he's like, no, I don't need to enhance anything to be a winner
Except my penis.
except my penis. Yeah. And Brandon instantly goes, that's right, he's true. He's true. He is true.
He
He will be after he's
But,
taken the
but
dick
Brandon's
pills.
not really saying much.
No, Brandon's
He's
a
staying,
bit...
he's staying quiet.
Yeah. And
So then,
But before we go on, Dr. X, right?
yes.
When he says that stuff, now forgive me if I'm wrong, but you don't trust a man with a single glowing red eye, do you?
No, it's not. It's not the done thing, is
If
it?
he had a
No.
cat on his lap, I would have been more sympathetic to his.
No, that's
to his
bad.
That's even worse.
That's bad. You're
That
getting
makes it
taken
even
in by
worse.
the villains,
I
Dan.
just like cats.
No, you can't like cats. You can't like villain cats. Villain cats are just as bad as the villains
don't
they're
tell me
attached
what I
to.
can like
They're
and not
just as
like.
bad as their owners. Don't even feed them whiskers. They feed them fucking metal. And
Metal.
They feed them metals.
Metal shards.
They feed them metals that have like nuclear agents, and they're atomized so that the cats can fucking transform and bite your face off if you say
Yeah,
no.
I'm sorry, I didn't
Just
know
don't
you-
talk
I
to
didn't
them,
know you
Dan.
didn't- I didn't want to
Just leave them
upset
alone.
you. I'm sorry.
Leave them out. Don't take
It's okay. it's
cats
okay.
from strangers.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
Good advice. Don't take
Yeah.
cats from strangers.
So I didn't know that. would
Right.
trigger
So
you.
so what
Sorry,
happened?
Dan.
What happened after that?
After that,
Was it our second race event?
it is the second event called the Acceleration Triathlon.
Woo!
Right, this is what Dan was referring to earlier, where basically within the first 2 minutes of the Acceleration Triathlon,
Everyone's dead.
every other competitor has basically wiped out, killed themselves, and caused themselves serious injury.
But just before,
Yes.
whilst
Oh.
Alex Mann's team are all talking about about what's going to happen.
And Fidget's
Brandon.
being cool.
Yeah, Fidget's being annoying. Brandon
Cool.
walks through, and Alex is like, "Oh, Brandon, you're walking again. This is amazing." And then Brandon
He just
fucking
like
ignores him.
nudges past him like horrible bully kids in secondary
Yeah.
school. You know, they give you the shoulder. Yeah, it's a bit like that.
Mm.
And Action Man's like, "What's his bag?"
Not the actual quote.
That's not what he says.
Oh.
But yeah, so then they start the race, and yeah, everyone wipes themselves out except from Alex and Brandon.
Standard.
So it's back to the 2-man
Fucking
race.
ridiculous, isn't it?
So it started off on a snowmobile type machine.
Yeah, well, it was like... Did it start off on the snowmobile thing, or did it start off on the boards?
No.
Because it was like a
They
board
No, it
had
was
they
buggy
had a
wheel.
mobile.
snowmobile kind
Oh,
of
right,
thing.
snowmobile things. And then they went onto the boards?
No, then they went and climbed up the edge of the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
So then they meet their team, and then they climb up the mountainside.
Yes.
And which this point, it's a really weird bit, right, where Brandon climbs up first, then Alex is climbing. And as Alex is climbing, he looks up, sees Brandon stand at the edge,
Oh, yeah.
and it looks like Brandon does like a hip thrust at him,
a single hip thrust.
and then runs off and carries on climbing
This
the
is
mountain.
what I'm going to do to you.
And considering this is the guy who earlier didn't say a word to him, it's a bit of a bad social etiquette to not talk to someone and then hip thrust in front of their face.
Yeah, and then
Best to
run
at least
away.
introduce yourself first, or say hello, or at least have a handshake or
Yeah.
something.
If you're going to hip thrust, have a handshake first.
Yeah, exactly. That's the rule. That's social etiquette. It's like at funerals.
Yeah. Yeah, so then they get to the top, which is where they bust out their snowboards.
That's it.
And then they snowboard down.
They've also
Yes.
got like these wing things as well.
They've got the
for
Buzz
gliding.
Lightyear wings,
Christ.
Yes.
which as you pop out, the exact same as Buzz Lightyear, and then fly around.
Yeah, I'd love it if they had like the green light on the one side and the red light on the
Yeah.
other as well. That'd be so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so that, they then start flying down, and I think so. They're going down the hill mixture between gliding and snowboarding,
Yes.
and then Alex wipes out, doesn't he? So
yeah,
Action
he does.
Man
The thing
lands
is, it's
and
such
wipes
a
out.
clusterfuck of events that
It
happen
is, isn't
so
it?
quickly that it's kind of hard to kind of wrap my head around exactly what happened and in what time. You know?
Yeah, what order
Like,
it happened.
Yeah,
He was
like,
falling behind, so he tried hard to do something, and he fell.
I think there's another message there for the kids.
Yeah.
Winning and losing aren't important. It's about trying hard to beat the guy that hip thrusts you.
Yeah, I think that's valid.
That's the moral of
Yeah.
this story.
So then Alex crashes out, and then Brandon turns around and looks at him,
Yes.
and they decide to run to the finish, at which point Brandon sprints right over the finish line and beats Action Man.
Yes, he does, and everyone's in a bit of shock and awe about this.
Except
And
the
then-
reporter. He's an absolute arse.
Oh yeah, what did he say again?
Yeah,
How
he
does it
rubbed
feel
it
to be
in.
schooled by your friend?
Yeah.
Really
What?
unprofessional.
He
man.
beat him by like
Nick
half a
Masters.
second.
Nick Masters was the reporter, and
He-
he's a right turd, isn't
Dick
he?
move.
Right turd.
Yeah, he's a
He must be
bellend.
a secret enemy.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he's Dr. X.
Right, so then
Dr. Xavier.
this is another life lesson for
Oh, that's
kids.
Professor.
Don't be a dick when you win.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
then Brandon
This
is a
is the
dick.
funniest part.
Yes. What does he do again?
Well, he's having the interview where he's going like, "How did it feel to be schooled?" to Alex, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, he
Oh, God,
won.
yeah.
He won. He did well." And then he just comes, and then Brandon just busts onto the shot.
Yeah.
Loser.
You know what? You know what? That South Park episode with the skiing. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, French fries, pizza,
French fry. And
yeah.
if you don't French fry, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, there's that like serious skier who's like,
Yeah, it's Stan.
Hello, Stan Darsh. You know, it's like that.
Yeah.
Like Alex
Oh,
Mann is
man.
doing this really sincere interview, and he's like, yeah, good on Brandon. Like he won, he beat me. Like fair game. And he's like, hello, Action Mong. You know what I mean? It's like it's so bad, but it was like he's just like the poorest loser ever.
And then Alex is like, "All right, calm down, mate." And then Brandon goes, "No, we're gonna race again." And they're like,
just me and you.
"Yeah." And then he walks into the what are they called? Those
Lifts.
the ski
Like,
lifts
ski
kind of
lift,
thing.
Ski
Yeah.
lift. Yeah, ski lift.
So he like walks into the ski lift, and then Alex walks in afterwards.
Yes, and this is my favourite scene coming up.
Probably
because
one of the
Brandon's
greatest.
just like freaking out over nothing. He's like, I can beat you any time, Alex. I can beat you any time. And like, in fairness to Alex, he's being really kind of placid about it. And he's like, dude, like seriously, what the fuck?
Well, at this point, Alex knows that
Something's
he's
up.
obviously got the augmentations from
Yes.
Dr. X. So
Yeah.
he said, like, what has Dr. X done to you?
And then he's like, yeah, what's going on? And he's like, why are you acting so weird? And he's like, I'm not acting weird. And then just punches a snowboard.
Yeah,
Remember?
like
For no-
completely obliterates it off the wall.
But the thing is, he doesn't, because of the bad animation, when he does it, he doesn't even like look at it, and his arm kind of comes out at a weird angle. It's like, I'm not being angry. It's just
It's so
man.
weird.
It's like, what the fuck?
So ridiculous.
So then
It's
we
fucking
get
brilliant.
we get little
tearing
mini
up.
snippets of Dr. X kind of like, yes, release your power.
Do it. Do it.
At which point they start fighting. So
Yes.
the two guys start fighting each other.
But it's not much of a fight.
It's not much of a
is it?
No,
fight.
it's a bit more
It's
But
like,
then-
flailing
it's like
arms around.
Brandon doing like spinning back kicks to nothing, and then
Action Man
Alex
just dodging
Man,
them.
yeah, just dodging them, and then occasionally just putting a snowboard in between them or something.
Yeah, but
How
then
many snowboards are in that ski lift? Actually, that's something to
Fair
point
few.
out. It's quite a lot.
fair few. But then Action Man, Brandon reaches the high enough level of adrenaline.
Yeah,
No.
he
And it
unlocks
transforms
his true
him.
potential.
Yeah.
So he turns into like he basically gains a foot in height, a foot in width, and then turns grey and loses all of his hair and gets claws.
Yeah,
Well, he becomes metal, doesn't he?
it looks
It
like
is
he becomes metal. Yeah,
Well, it's either like he gets like grayscale, like in Game of Thrones, or he just turns into an alloy.
yeah.
But you know, it's very hard for a carbon-based life form to turn into an alloy.
Yes.
You know, I know that from
I
experience.
mean, you said he turned into
I've
Colossus.
tried.
No, seriously.
Yeah, it looked like he turned into Colossus.
Yeah.
You know, the X-Man.
Yeah. I do have a funny story about turning into an alloy. Actually, this is 100% true. When I was a teenager, right, and like literally all I cared about was like heavy.
I'm going to apologise before the
No,
end.
there's nothing bad. It's really funny. It's like I was like 16 or something. Literally, all I cared for was heavy metal music. That's all I cared for. I just loved heavy metal music. I didn't really care about much else. I wasn't really doing anything. Blah blah blah. And my dad said to me once, he was like, "Tom, what are you going to do with your life? Come on, have you thought about your future?" And like literally, all I cared for was heavy metal music. So I was like, "I'm going to be metal." And I meant the music, but obviously my dad took that as a very literal statement. So he just went, Tom, a carbon-based life form cannot be an alloy. And I was just like instantly schooled. I was like, he's right. I was like, dreams crushed.
Then what's Metal Mario?
Yeah,
Oh.
my point exactly.
Don't be.
Maybe we
I'd
should do
watched
that.
this cartoon beforehand, I'd be like, sit down, Dad. We're going to watch 20 minutes of the best show you've ever seen.
I think we should stop the podcast, get my N64, drive around to your house, plug it in and go, watch this then. And then go to the level, the underground level, and make Mario turn into Metal Mario.
Is like a decade later, and he's like, "That's all very good, guys, but why are you showing me this?" He's like clearly doesn't.
And we're like, yeah.
we're not even.
Yeah, what do you say
We're
now?
not even explaining what's happening. We're just like, sit down and be quiet.
You'll understand.
Yeah, and he's just like, I have no fucking clue why these people are in my house showing me this. Yeah, so funny story about being an alloy. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so this is the point where some great physics happens because they start fighting again.
Fucking brilliant.
And
Oh, God.
so Brandon's changed and he runs at Action Man. Action
changed,
Man,
man.
Yeah.
Action Man jumps up, grabs the pole and like lifts himself up. So then Brandon
Standard like action
runs
movie
straight
thing.
underneath him,
Yep.
smashes into the glass.
Yes.
The glass smashes outside.
Yes.
And rather than if you run into a glass
Yeah.
window
Yes.
With
and
pretty
you
good
break
force.
it, you're gonna go with
The
it.
force travels through. Yeah, of course.
If you don't break it, you'll go backwards.
Yes.
Now Brandon breaks it and
the
goes
gla-
backwards.
Yeah.
So he smashes it and then bounces off.
It's an amazing show of kind of like antimatter or something, isn't it? It's like maybe what we didn't comprehend is that there's a very, very small and particular black hole right there in the ski lift where all of physics works backwards.
Yeah.
And it's in that space right between where Brandon hits the glass pane. So the glass pane shoots outwards and Brandon shoots backwards. And it's because there's a manipulation of space-time right in that
It's the only
time.
explanation.
And
I'm
it's
gonna
certainly,
say.
certainly linking with the game we're going to get to later because the gravity in that is a bit off.
Good point.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Very good point.
Well done.
That's something to remember. Remember that, listeners and viewers.
And
Aliens.
Us.
Aliens, yes,
No,
and
no,
aliens, because they beam it out to Neptune.
We don't like to explore.
Oh yeah. We're
They're all
doing
on
quite well on
Neptune.
our Neptune beam.
We've got one follower from Neptune. There's this guy like, they don't upload enough. I've got nothing to do here. How's he getting internet?
He's
I'll have to
Neptunian, he'll work it out.
research that and come back to you next episode.
Right. So they kind of have a little fight, and then
Yeah.
everything starts going wrong again. Like the snow. What's it called? The ski lift thing.
Ski lift.
Yes.
Is sort of like comes
Starts
off the
falling
rails
off, and and
Very-
Action
very,
Man.
very similar to the
Someone-
massive
helicopter scene, to be
avalanche.
honest.
Yeah. Oh no, that's afterwards.
Oh,
Yeah.
So then the guys. Yes. No, that's it. They hit the floor, don't they?
Yes.
And then there's the avalanche, and then somehow Action Man's on top of the ski lift,
Yes.
flying down the mountain.
Don't know at
Yes.
what point he got on there.
No.
But Brandon's on there as well, isn't he? They're both on the top.
Yeah, Brandon's there.
Yeah.
And then this is where Action Man gets a random person in his headphone going, "You need to unlock your power. Do it. You know you can do it.
You have potential.
Say
Blah, blah,
your
blah, blah, blah.
motto."
Oh my god,
So
that's
then-
right.
Yeah.
So he says the cash grab motto, which is check it out, dial it in, amp it up.
And
then
I was
suddenly-
amazed when he said our motto. I mean,
I
what are
know.
the chances?
Who would have thought? Yeah, so then once again, Eagle Vision, time slows down, a blue aura sweeps over the mountain, numbers appear randomly on objects.
Bullshit happened.
Bullshit ensues. It's like,
Stuff glows gold, and he just. So what he does is he jumps off the top, opens a wingsuit which he somehow has, but not the Buzz
oh,
Lightyear
no,
wingsuit.
that's the bag in the inside.
Oh, sorry,
He
no, yeah. So
flips
he
over the
flips
ski lift.
over and into.
And then propels himself through the ski lift whilst the ski lift is moving. Whilst he's being propelled through it at high velocity, he grabs like a kid's satchel, puts on the kid's satchel while still moving in high velocity in the air, flies out the other side of the ski lift, opens up the kid's satchel. Turns out it's not a kid's satchel, it's a wingsuit. Fucking opens up his Buzz Lightyear wingsuit and just swoops about a bit like a hawk.
And he flies back and he lands into the team's helicopter.
Yes, that's it.
Meanwhile, the ski lift smashes into the edge of the mountain and explodes.
Yes.
Don't understand? Me neither.
No.
To be honest, I quite like that
Oh
scene.
no, Brandon was holding onto the ladder, remember?
Oh yeah.
So how did that fucking happen?
Oh, that
No,
was when
you know
they
what
were
this-
still-
do you know
the
what
That
helicopter-
was earlier on. That was
Earlier on.
earlier on in the fight.
The helicopter came round
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
yeah,
tried
yeah.
to him
Oh yeah, and
to
he
jump
rips off
onto
the
a
ladder,
rope
doesn't
ladder.
he? Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So then
non-stop ride.
then they have their like final ending scene of the episode where they're all
And
in
this
big
is
air.
my favourite bit of the whole
Yeah.
thing.
So they're all in the big air or whatever their fucking flying fortress.
Okay,
is
we
called.
just mention quickly the TV, the camera guy, because he just before we get to the final
the
scene.
girl's the camera.
No,
Trixabel,
Nick
Bubbles,
Masters, wasn't it?
fella. What's her name? Gobble.
Fidget.
Fidget.
That's it.
Nick Masters. That's it.
Gobble.
Trixabel Gobble.
It was the guy that was a dick in the interview.
Yeah.
Nick Masters. Yeah, prick
he-
Masters.
they do a quick scene of like, oh, this is where it all happened. It was like, whoa, and then
Yeah.
after he finishes, there's just this moment where he just he just stays stock still.
Oh god,
but he
yeah,
sort of
he freezes.
he
doesn't he?
sort of
like-
looks up a little, just sort of like.
Yeah, he kind of gets stuck like looking at the sky, and you think that's bad reporting. He's obviously lost his job.
Yeah, it's gone mental.
Yeah, Nick
Stayed on that shot for a
Masters.
little too long.
Fired. You're fired, Nick.
So then we have
Dick.
the old trope of Action Man's back in the helicopter talking to the team, and then he's like, oh, did you guys not hear that voice?
Hear the
And they're
voice
like,
that was only in my
what
head.
voice? And I'm like, oh my god, it's.
But then
I'm
he's
hearing it.
instantly made a name for his Eagle Vision, and he calls it his hypergraphics.
Oh my god.
Yes,
And that's,
Also-
and that's GRAFIX
we assume.
X.
gotta
and
be.
it's like the turbo graphics.
Yeah. It's gotta
Yeah.
be. It's gotta be.
Hyper
But
bullshit.
so he calls it hypergraphics, or as Dan would like to propose, the hyper bullshit, which I think is a much better name. It certainly makes a lot more sense. So then he says, "Oh, my hypergraphics kicked in," and like when you haven't explained to your mates who are surrounding you what hypergraphics is, they can only go on their assumptions.
Well, he explained it before, but he says, I see math. And they're like, you see math.
Yeah, is
Great.
it math or maths?
Maths.
This is one thing I always get confused with because there's a saying, isn't there? It's like it's math.
Not maths.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Everyone knows what we're
I
talking
think
about, so
I think
don't
it's
matter.
math.
yeah, I think you could say math.
Yeah, let's say math.
I do math.
I think you're right.
I like maths.
I do math.
Meth. It shows.
So then you're revealed that Dr. X wants Action Man to release his hypervision. Hypergraphics.
Fucking brilliant, isn't it?
Because Dr. X is clearly gunning for Action
yes.
Man to release it and he'll use it at some point.
Yes.
He wants
Action
Action
is
Man.
the
He
key.
wants Action Man to release his essence.
Oh.
That's not good. I do not like that.
Your face.
Oh.
Do we have the final line that he says?
Oh. I didn't get the final
I got
line.
it. I remember it.
Go on. He stares. He stares dead at the camera.
And he's, he's talking about the. It's like, yeah, I still see numbers, but they're not adding up. But I'm gonna find out why.
And that's the end of the
Camera
episode. Oh, it's terrible.
It's the best. It's so brilliant. It's so brilliant on every level. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love
All right,
it. I
so
love it.
that's basically it. That's the first episode.
Yeah.
So,
Whew.
would you carry on watching the series?
No.
Yes.
Oh,
No.
100%.
so no and a yes.
I would watch it just for Gobble Tosca fella
Fidget.
I'd watch it just for Fidget. Yeah.
Oh my god! Just talking about the crew. Grinder, the worst voice actor I've ever heard.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Grinder was
isn't
the
it?
like chill out dude.
Yeah,
wasn't
he was the chill
but he was
dude.
so like nonplussed about everything. It was literally just that the guy was reading off the page in a really bad accent.
That's true.
It's like, yeah, blah, 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 blah.
It's like, calm down, Alex. He didn't say that.
Oh, I remember his
Oh,
first
that's
line.
how he was.
His
Yeah.
first line was like, yeah, I feel your pain. I was like, I feel my pain.
You know what? They should have made him like one of those deceptive characters where he's just like really chilled, but then every now and then he has like an insular moment where it all gets really dark and serious. You know, where he's just like, yeah, man, forget about it. Just like the endless void that haunts me every night. And it's like, what was that, Grinder? Nothing, man. Chill out. It's just like,
What's wrong with
they
you?
should definitely have him as like a bipolar character, like totally fucked and then totally cool. That'd be awesome. They missed
That
a
would
trick
make
there.
it more fun.
Yeah.
Would you watch it again?
Yes.
No.
Oh, why? You'd watch it with me though, wouldn't you? Because I forced you to.
You're like, oh, do you want to come round? I got Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I run round all excited, and you're like, nope.
Fooled you! The door locks behind you, like automatic lock.
And then amp it up turns on.
Amp it up, Action Man!
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't carry on watching this. It was,
Oh, dear.
it was pretty
I
bad.
spend my time doing like
Careful now.
some useless shit, but even useless shit is a better use of my time than watching action.
I do understand that. I do understand that, because sometimes useful shit can actually be beneficial in the long run.
Yeah. So that's 2 against 1, not to carry on watching.
Okay, that's fair enough. It's a democracy.
All right. Shall we move on to the game then?
We definitely should.
Right. So the game is called Action Man: Search for Base X.
Base X.
So that's obviously where Dr. X
Dr.
lives.
X, yes.
Or
Well, the thing
a
is...
factory full of ecstasy. Like,
Oh my god, that's so true. It's
Well, that's a game changer. Yeah.
It's so true. He's just been given like the wrong information. It was like, but the thing is, Base X, right? I've always thought this about supervillains. They have their base, in which case Dr. X clearly has Base X, right? You wouldn't call it
Yep.
Base X, would you? It's too fucking obvious. It's obviously your base. Wouldn't you call it something like? Hang on,
can you?
something really off subject, like Spanish Favela 55.
Yeah, I
Bit
see
of
where you're
Rosa.
coming from.
Yeah.
But in the history of supervillains, M. Bison, Bisonopolis,
That's a good point, isn't it?
they don't care. They want their name to be everywhere.
Yeah, that is a good point.
They're very like
To be a supervillain, you've got to be a bit egotistical.
yeah, they're very egotistical.
Can, Tom, can I just get you? Because you said it a couple of times,
What?
and it was sounding interesting. Can you say base X like over and over and over again, please?
Base X, Base X, Base X, Base X, Base X, Base X, Base X.
I like.
Sex
I just,
on the bay.
you kept saying it. I was like, this is like. It sounds like one or two things.
That's brilliant.
Didn't even pick up on
Search
it.
for
No, I
base
didn't.
X.
Base X, the search for Base X. But,
Right,
oh,
so the search
Yeah.
for Base X.
Base X.
So this was developed
Oh,
by
sorry.
Natsum.
Yes, Natsume. You said they also did the. Did you say Harvest Moon?
Harvest Moon, yeah.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Harvest
Very
Moon.
impressive.
I've
Harvest
heard
Moon.
of it. What's this?
It's just like a farming game.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
it's
fair
like
enough.
a kind of simulator, but they're very popular and they're
Moon.
still going.
Yeah. And it was published by THQ for the Game Boy Colour.
And we were saying earlier, for any of you listeners that have listened to a few of our podcasts, we seem to have games published by THQ every fucking episode now.
It feels like it.
It does, doesn't it? So I mean, it's another THQ.
It's a name we see a lot.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're not around anymore, are they? But they were obviously big in like through the 2000s.
Yeah, what's it
I
now?
remember playing
THQ
loads of
Nordic
THQ stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was released for the Game Boy Color. It was released on February 6th, 2001 in North America.
So it's literally almost exactly a year difference from the first episode we watched.
But 20 days before airing of Season 2.
Yes, yes.
So take that into account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is based off this TV series.
Yeah. So, I mean, it opens up and you're greeted with a very bog standard menu and, you know, pretty simple design for a Game Boy Color and stuff. Not anything particularly special. I would say, though, the music's good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
because,
the music
like,
was alright, yeah.
I mean,
Wasn't
like,
grating.
no, exactly. And that's actually very difficult to achieve on a Game Boy or a Game Boy Color.
Yeah, the music didn't grate on you and make you want to commit suicide. So
No.
I thought I've done quite well.
Jesus, yeah, it didn't do bad at all. So straight out of the bat, actually, I thought, like, you know what? Surprising. Like, you know, you can go along with it. Considering a lot of the games we've done, you know, not to name names, Wayne's World, have been fucking shocking, literally from the get-go. You know, wasn't too bad, I don't think. So then you go into it, and it basically kind of drops you into, like, you know, straight away, do you want to play on easy, normal, hard? We played on normal, which is probably we shouldn't have done. Probably should have just gone easy and made it look like we're a lot better than we are.
Yeah, we should have just quickly blanked out that little selection screen.
Yeah. But so you're given a choice of going between 4 different areas, which were ruin, mine, remind me,
Jungle.
Mountain and jungle.
mountain, and jungle. Sorry.
So
you've got your 4 areas.
It's quite like, I thought it was quite clever because you've got your 4 areas and then you've got different suits and you've got
Yes.
So when you pick
equipment and gear and
so
stuff.
you pick what area you're going in
Yeah.
and you what are you burping?
I don't know. I think that banana's repeating. On me.
So you pick your area and then you pick what suit you're bringing in and what weapons you're bringing in.
Yes.
So you start off with the camouflage suit and the scuba diver suit.
Yes, and that's the only difference.
They're the
really,
only
isn't
ones
it?
you
Like,
start
you've
off
got a bog standard like EMP gun, isn't it? It's not even a normal gun. I thought it was an EMP gun because everything you're versing is robotic.
No.
But there's bees.
I think they're
Are they
robotic.
robot bees?
There's
I hope so because they shoot. They shoot. I've
They have a
never
little
seen
gun.
bee shoot
Yeah.
before.
It's just literally trained bees with guns.
Well, that'd be bloody impressive. Don't put it past
Bee with
Dr.
an
X.
AK-47. Oh shit.
Yeah, so you pick the level, pick what kind of costume you want, and then off
Yeah.
you go. And yeah, I mean the gameplay is quite. It's all right.
It's quite a solid. I mean, it's quite a straightforward platformer. Really, at the end of the day, the kind of basis of the game isn't what you'd see too dissimilar to a lot of games at this time and many previous, like kind of like, you know, classic SNES and NES platformers. Like,
Well, if anyone's, it's a bit niche, I think, but if anyone's ever played Shinobi 2 for the Game Gear, this is exactly like it.
This was a great comparison actually, because as well you were saying about like the stage select as well.
It has the same
almost
stage
identical,
select,
yeah.
and then like so with this, when you complete a stage, so like right at the end of the gameplay, I managed to complete a stage, and I unlocked the climbing suit.
Yeah.
So then with the climbing suit, you can then go back to other levels, use that suit to access new areas
Yes.
and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so basically the idea is you start off, you got to get from. It feels like there's 3 mini stages within the stage. Is it
Yes.
3?
Yes. Yeah.
And once you get to the end, you get a little reward.
Yeah. Basically.
You've got 6 like hit points.
Yep.
Yeah, and it is pretty difficult.
It is. It's a challenging game. You know, it is quite challenging.
But once the learning curve of it is really just quite natural.
Yeah,
you find
yes.
out how to fight against which enemy in which certain way.
Yes.
Yeah,
When
and
I first picked it up, I found it quite natural, just learning and going through.
yeah, it reminded me of like Mega Man when you pick your stage.
Yeah.
And there's some stages that at the beginning are easier than others, but you won't know until you played them.
Yeah.
So I can't remember what stage I picked first, but that was quite tough.
The first one you picked was the snow one.
Yeah, mountain.
Because
yeah.
we wanted it to be quite true to the episode.
True to the
because
episode,
of
yeah.
the, what was it called again? The acceleration triathlon.
That's the one. but I that was really difficult.
Yeah, I
but
think
then
it's because you weren't wearing layers.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had camouflage.
I was in my
gear.
camouflage suit.
A camo vest in the snow.
But then you played the ruins in a scuba suit, which
Yeah.
made sense later on.
It did make a lot
did
of sense
work.
later on.
But yeah, but then
the
the
scuba
ruins.
suit looks ridiculous, though.
I think it looks brilliant. He looks a bit like Cyclops from the X-Men.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then
But with flip-flops.
we played ruins, and I thought ruins was an easier level than mountains.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of work out what order you need to complete them in, and it's quite a nice way of doing it.
Yeah, and I'm guessing after you complete all 4, I mean, we weren't able to, not because we didn't have time, but because we're not nearly
we're
as good as
crap.
the game as
Yeah.
we should be. But yeah, so I'm guessing when you complete all 4, then like the location of base X is found, and then you beat base X, blah 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 blah. I'm guessing that's it.
Might be a lot more to the game. Might be like different areas.
Another
different
4
world maps.
areas.
Could you imagine?
Mine 2.
But the thing is, like-
Ruin 2, Jungle 2, Mountain 2.
Yeah. And finish off with Mountain 3.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the actual gameplay is like, it's quite similar to Mega Man, really.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's
Slow,
not-
slower pace.
Yeah,
jump-
nowhere
jump and
near as hard
No,
as Mega Man, because
No.
that is notoriously hard.
but it's one of those things because Mega Man at times can be quite frustrating because its level can be punishing. Whilst this is challenging, but at the same time it's quite forgiving. So once you've kind of, when you die in a certain place, you usually do adapt fairly quickly, and you're able to get past it. And that's
Yeah, there was a
rewarding,
perfect example with when Dan was playing on Ruins. There was a bit where he jumps across a gap, and it straight away is one of these robots
yeah,
here, and it
yeah.
shoots him in the knee, kills him straight away. So then
Right in the knee.
Dan comes
Right in the knee.
Dan comes back, and he's looking at it, and I'm like, how am I going to do this? Jumps, ducks straight away, dodges the enemy,
That's
shoots him.
Yeah.
You've learned your bit,
exactly.
and
You've adapted.
carry on.
Yeah.
you're also given 3 lives to complete the level.
Yes.
And if you don't complete it, you have to start back at the beginning.
Yes.
But whenever you've completed a level, you get a new code. So you write down a little code. If you start the game
Before
up again,
the time of save states.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you write in your code and crack on where
Yeah.
you were before. So it's, you can't, you don't have to ever start right back at the beginning.
No.
The codes were. There was an interesting little bit there.
Somewhat cryptic, would you say? We won't say the first one, what we thought about it.
Someone was.
Well,
putting
just because
in
it
a
ended in BJ doesn't mean
Yeah,
like
yeah, it does. If it ended in V, what does it mean? Vagina, obviously. Or if it ended in B, it could be balls.
It just after
Or
seeing
bollocks.
two
Cock.
passwords like that, a pattern emerging. I was just like,
In fairness, the pattern emerged after 1. It wasn't even a pattern. I just thought, I know what that is.
I didn't even see it, but
I saw
you
all
two are
of it.
just sick bastards.
I saw all of it.
Yeah, so you've got a few different types of enemies.
Yeah.
The wasps are the most annoying thing.
By far, they're what actually makes the game challenging, I
yeah,
would say.
beam
Yeah.
Yes.
handguns.
If you're watching on the YouTube, look at the bee wasp things, because they actually have a little gun that we didn't realise was there till quite late
Try and
on.
do a freeze frame. Or
Either that or a
something.
tiny
Yeah.
penis.
No,
Oh, it could be.
it can't. No, it was on that chest.
Well, you don't know where a bee. Yeah,
That's
I don't
true.
know.
You're not.
Oh, I don't
you're
know the
not
anatomy
sure.
of a bee. I'll give you that, but still, I don't think it's there.
Like, have you ever seen? Going a bit off topic.
Oh dear.
Have you ever seen slugs, mate?
No.
No,
Fucking beautiful.
I
I'm not.
bet it's not.
No, it is. They create like a slime like thing, and they dangle, right, and they interlock. But if it's really pitch black and you go really close, they glow slightly. They glow blue.
I don't want to see a glowing penis.
It's not penis. It's
They
a slug.
definitely don't have a penis, do they?
No. Well, yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know.
I don't.
Maybe they've just got like bits, but the bits they glow blue, and they just dangle and glow blue. Look. Like for anyone listening, it was on one of Attenborough's things.
Oh, okay, that's all right then.
Yeah. So
It wasn't
so
just you
it's
in your
accurate.
garden being a sick freak.
Oh my god.
Well, I found it out before Attenborough.
Yeah.
I gave him the lead.
anything looks pretty like beautiful or artistic on Attenborough. So
I thought you were going to say anything looks beautiful when it has sex, and I would definitely go against
No,
that.
no,
Have
no,
you ever
no,
seen
no.
tarantulas have sex?
You ever seen a duck have sex?
Why do you watch so many animals have sex?
hang on.
I didn't ask to see this duck having ducks. Oh, sometimes they kill the partner because they've got.
That's what tarantulas do. Are you sure?
Oh man, it's violent. It's violent.
Oh.
Those poor female ducks.
Oh shit! The females usually kill the male though.
Oh yeah, no, it's the
That
other way
happens.
around.
That
The
happens
ducks.
in human sexual mating rituals as well. Sometimes, maybe.
Every now and
In
then.
some cults.
No, just generally. She's like, can't fucking take it anymore.
amount of times-
smother him with a pillow in the night,
Man, sometimes I had to jump out the window.
and then just pour water in his lap just so it looks like he's pissed himself as well.
Anyway, enough
Oh,
of
yeah, sorry.
fucking animal mating bullshit. Let's get back to the serious
Perfect. It's
stuff.
Okay.
nature.
Action Man.
Okay, right.
Should we talk about the gravity?
Ah, yes.
Gravity and the animations.
Yes. So when you jump, you look like you're doing a Russian dance in the air.
Yes.
He like crosses his arms.
Whoa.
It's very weird.
I'm sure you can picture the one we're thinking of. You know,
Yeah.
arms crossed on the floor, the kind of one leg. Hey.
I don't know how they do that. I tried it and I.
It's
I
fucking
fi-
difficult.
Yeah, it's
isn't it?
so tough.
Like, it's so fucking difficult. Like Russians are tough as shit.
Well done to
Yeah.
well done to him.
Strong legs.
And then the gravity. Gravity is very. It's a very
Slow.
loose term.
Yeah, like Dan made his point earlier about the black hole, and we said, no, wait, that was me. Oh,
We were talking about it, and then I mentioned the
yes,
gravity.
you
the
did the
game.
comparison. So this is where the comparison comes in. So the kind of the relation of gravity in this game isn't necessarily what you'd expect it. So when Action Man falls, he can never reach terminal velocity. You know, that never happens.
He's always
Do you
falling at
remember
the very
terminal
same
velocity?
speed.
yeah.
Yeah, it's he falls at the same speed, almost like if you drop a leaf from the top of the Shard in London, that leaf will have instantly found its terminal velocity, and it will fall at that same speed. Now,
Very
if
technical.
you then dropped a man off the side, the same time as the leaf, what hits the ground first?
The man.
No, the leaf, because I put a marble on it.
A man still weighs more than a fucking leaf of a marble.
No, it's a marble made of like black matter or something.
Oh, right, yeah. So you carried a black matter marble to the top of the Shard and then threw it off of a leaf and a man.
What else am I going to do with my time? Come on.
What the fuck?
I'm bored.
Sorry.
Anyway, you kind of like float around and
Oh.
it's fucking hilarious when you
It's-
misjudge a jump and you
Yeah.
end up just slowly falling to your
Just
death.
I
such
I did it plenty of
anticlimactic
times,
end,
yeah.
isn't it? It's sort of like, I'm going to make it. Oh, no, here
It's
he
quite an
goes.
Float
undignified
down.
end
Goodbye.
for a man called Action Man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, to have a
You'd
really crap
Yeah,
slow
you'd
death.
expect his end to be like eaten by a great white shark or killed in a horrific like airplane stunt, but instead he just kind of slowly collapses to his death in a dark pit in kind of like half gravity.
Well, when he actually dies as well, it's like there was one moment you got stung by a scorpion, and he just looks
Oh,
like he
yeah.
sits down. He's like, I've had enough.
Yeah, he kind of just has a nap, doesn't he?
That's it.
It's like, oh, the toxin's getting a bit too much now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a sleep.
I'll just have a sleep and a vomit. But yes, I mean, you know, but like the jumping in this game is it's slightly sticky. Like it's not super responsive,
yeah.
and that can be an issue because some of the jumps in this game, let's be honest, like that one you struggled with the first time on Ruin. Was it Ruin? You know that last jump.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like some of the jumps are, let's be honest, pretty kind of close to the edge.
Yeah.
Well,
but
every jump, like, you don't think you're going to make it.
No, not at all.
It always looks
Especially
like
that one. That one's crazy.
There's no way you're going to make it because there's
No.
no like physics where if you're doing a run up, that doesn't help. It's always the same distance
Yeah.
from a standing
Yes.
jump.
Yep.
And it just like every time it looks like the chasm's too big.
Yes,
But
definitely.
more often than not, you will make it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't.
No,
No, but I mean the thing is, like with this game, like I made a note.
I never felt cheated out of
Yes.
a jump that I missed.
Well, this
There was
is
one
it.
time where I went, oh, okay, one time.
There was one that I got annoyed. I was like, for fuck's sake. I was right at the end of the level as well.
But I made a note about the design, like the level design, and I said the level design itself is straightforward, but actually that works quite effectively for the pace of the game and the challenge involved, considering because like the animations are quite slow, everything's quite deliberate, and at the same time there can be quite a bit of challenge, especially with the fucking bees or wasps or whatever they are. So actually,
Yeah.
considering the level design, it is quite straightforward. It is quite simple. It's kind of simple platforms,
Yep.
simple pitfalls.
Yep.
But at the same time, it does work to the pace of the game. So actually, it kind of works in its benefit, considering.
They-
And we've got to keep in mind that actually, you know, it is an Action Man game. this is most likely going to be played by kids. So
Yeah,
it's
true.
not like it could be ridiculously like
Balls.
dramatic levels. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's got to be relatively straightforward.
Talking about the level design, there were the alternate routes as well.
Yes.
And this is really cool where the customization comes in. So acquiring these new suits and, you know, new capabilities and stuff allow you to access different routes and ways through the map. So there is a level of replayability and stuff, I suppose.
Yes, because you'll see in the gameplay that I went back to the ruins and I
Yeah.
went in the scuba suit and I went into the water and
Yes.
they unlocked like a whole new like second stage for the ruins.
Yeah.
And it was it's cool because it really does switch things up. You get all these alternate routes and I don't know if there's something there. Maybe there's like a weapon or something. I don't know. But there must be more weapons you can get.
Yeah,
I was very interested in seeing what would happen if you went in without the diver's suit.
Yeah,
I
I
can
wasn't
imagine.
willing to.
I can imagine what
my
would
money's
happen.
on drowning.
Yeah, just straight up drowned, like in
And then he
GTA
just
3.
ends up in fucking prison again.
Action
Oh yeah,
ma-
GTA 3. I forgot that.
Oh,
They only implemented
Vice
it.
City as well.
Yeah.
Was it in Vice City as well?
Yeah, you just touch the water.
Touch the
with your
water and you're
foot.
dead.
You
Yeah.
Shit. So they
Action
only,
man.
they
If
only-
he's not wearing a diving suit, he's an action hero, but he can't swim.
Yeah.
Unless he's wearing a diving suit, in which case he works great underwater.
Yeah. So they only implemented it in San Andreas
Yeah.
for the first
Yeah.
time. But I thought they implemented it in Vice City.
No, God, this Tommy was a
Tommy
block. He
Vercetti.
was a brick.
He was a
Tommy
brick.
Vassetti.
Tommy Vercetti.
But yeah, the
With my
game's like it's got a lot of replayability to it.
It does.
It
yeah.
has got a lot of it, and I like the fact that it's got the code system because you're given 3 chances to complete a level. If you don't complete it, you try again. If
Yeah.
you then do it, you write down your new code and go on to the
That's
next
it.
level. Try
That's it.
again, try
Yeah.
again, and you're never pushed right back to the beginning in which you have to do the whole thing.
Yeah, of course.
So that's quite a nice little system.
I mean, the thing is, save states would be cool, but at the same time, then, in a way, not, because save states, you know, like if you had like 3 separate files and stuff, once you complete your file and you complete the game, that's kind of it. You're kind of locked into a finished game. There's not really anything
Yeah,
else.
but if you write down the codes or where you got to and whatnot, you
And
could
that's it.
try
So
and do a
you'll
different
always
route.
have
Or,
different codes, so you can always
Yeah.
go to different like stages of you're playing,
yeah.
which is really cool. Whilst a save state, obviously, you overwrite it. It's just it carries on, it continues. So
Mhm.
it once again works to the benefit of the game.
Yeah.
With it'd be interesting to see what other rewards you get and other costumes and other abilities. But I mean,
Yes.
I've got to point out 1 or 2 things. I'm hoping you'd get like extra weapons at one point,
Well, the thing
Yeah.
is, you're given the option to change it, so you're assuming there will be more weapons. Yeah.
because at the beginning
very
all you
true.
have is the EMP gun and the most useless longbow imaginable.
Yeah, it is quite
Yeah, I
irrelevant.
don't know
isn't
why
it?
it
Yeah,
was
we
there.
never
Yeah.
wanted we tried it out for like a bit and then it was like nah.
No,
was
it
naff.
doesn't really.
There must be more
Do any
weapons you
justice,
can
does it?
get, yeah.
But I
Yeah.
just don't know when that bow would come in handy because it
Well,
just it was
ah.
useless.
I know where base X is. I know where it is.
Oh my god!
I know where it is. I'm not even joking. It's obvious. Space.
Of course.
Astronaut suit.
Because you can get an astronaut suit.
It's obvious.
So-
Boom.
of course.
See, all Action Man had to do, right, was fucking hire me, right? My CV was perfect.
He's all
He had a picture
brawn,
of my
no
face on
brain.
it. I had a picture of my face on it, and I was like, and it was just a very sincere look, and it was hire me. The look said hire me. It said you'll be making a mistake if you don't. And he obviously looked over my CV, and it said on my CV, it said hobbies and interests, finding bases of maniacal madmen. Now, it's a hobby and interest only because I haven't been paid for it yet. It's all been voluntary. But I can say that my credentials are fucking good. And I proved it just there. If you're listening, Alex, you made a mistake. And I hope that Dr. X's bum probe went deep.
Why? Why is it always that?
because he had to unlock his potential.
Had to unlock it deep
He
inside.
had to unlock it deep.
Should we talk about the graphics?
Yes.
I thought they were fine.
They're pretty straightforward, but once again, like good, solid.
They're fine. For the Game Boy Color, you don't expect much.
No,
No,
exactly.
didn't seem
And the
rushed
thing is,
in any
actually,
sense,
a lot
or-
of the Game Boy
No.
Color games aren't that vibrant, actually.
No, this was very vibrant,
And
and
it-
it was
yeah.
very easy to tell like when enemies are about and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. It was
No, it was good.
And it was like the backgrounds were easy to know when you could jump on the ledge, when you couldn't.
Yes.
It was
Solid.
fine. Yeah,
Solid.
Yeah.
And also the music. Each level had different music, and I'd
Always a
say
plus.
each song was pretty decent, to be honest.
Yeah.
Once again, like we're saying about like Game Boy Color, like like platformers especially, and like some of the ones we've played in the past. I know they're on like NES and stuff or SNES. Like Wayne's World, I'll bring it up again. I know this is like a few years after Wayne's World, but Wayne's World fucking like worst soundtrack since since Back to the Future.
Oh god.
And
Based
this
off a
this
movie.
was fucking good. Like
The thing is,
each time something decent.
I
you know?
don't think I can remember any of these soundtracks, but that's good and
Yeah.
bad. Like none of
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are memorable, but none of them are memorable in the fact that they're so bad you remember
Because
them.
we remember Back
Because
to
I
the
can
Future.
still sing you Back to the Future now, and it's
the
stuck
worst
in my
one.
head. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Oh, it's
So like
fucking
none of them
awful.
stuck in my head, which is I'm fine with that.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
absolutely fine with that.
exactly.
Great.
Yeah.
Should we look at some reviews then?
Yes, I think it's time. I think
Time
it's
for
time.
reviews.
While you're looking for the reviews, I'm going to mention topless
Oh,
climber action man.
Oh God, his bulge.
His bulge.
Did he get?
Where were you looking
What the-
at?
Come on,
His
man.
bulge. The eagle. The flying moustache.
Oh yeah, there's a flying moustache. Yeah.
Every time we started a level, this
There's a
flying
little
moustache
cutscene, yeah.
would just fly behind action.
It was
man,
only
and
on
he
the
pulls
mountain level.
As
Yeah.
he pulls a smug grin.
He does pull a smile. There was another one where he was really smiley as well, wasn't it? Which level was it?
Was
It was
that-
Ruin.
Ruin.
Ruin, where he's just got like a huge grin on his face.
It was
He likes Ruin.
It was just when we got the climbing gear after Steph finished the level, and I was like,
Just
"Oh, what's the
shorts.
climbing outfit going to be?" And it was just shorts, and I was
Yeah.
like, "That doesn't help at all."
He could have always just taken his camouflage vest off and just cut away some of his trousers, and then
That
he
would
would
have
have the
done.
climbing suit.
Simple. Didn't need to finish a level for that.
No, in
Right.
fact, he didn't need a new outfit.
So it received above average reviews from critics who felt
Sounds
the
fair.
game was difficult but fun nonetheless.
Okay, yeah.
The game has received a score of 68.22 overall from Game Rankings.
Very specific. Okay.
GameSpot's Frank Provio praised the game's colour palette and sound design, but noted the game was a
Yep.
bit too difficult.
Okay.
He was surprised that the
That's why
game
you
was
got the easy
even.
mode, isn't it?
He was surprised that the game was
Exactly.
even developed into the Game Boy Color's life cycle because it was quite late on.
It is 2001. Yeah.
So, IGN Mark Nix criticised the game for being unfairly difficult and compared it negatively to the Mega Man video game.
Interesting,
series.
because we did the comparison, but I think that's quite an unjust one.
He blamed in-game controls for the difficulty of the game, which I can understand because
Yeah.
like there's bits where like the scorpion comes up to you and you can't shoot down diagonally.
Down.
You can
Yes,
only shoot. You
yes.
can only duck and shoot forward still. Because if
Yeah.
you could shoot down diagonally, that would really help you out.
Yeah,
I think it's just
definitely.
a persistence thing
And
because we
it's-
were having trouble with the bees, and then you could shoot up.
You can shoot angled up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like-
diagonal.
Sometimes I think it was like you could jump on top of enemies or you could jump over them. I
Yeah.
think it was about making choices.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think, well, this is it.
It's persistence.
I think obviously
I wouldn't say
they're
too
doing it for a review, and they could have been playing this a very short amount of time. You just don't know. They could have really just had a pick up and play sort of thing. And I think in our time, we gave it just over half an hour, I think.
Yeah.
And we we kind of adapted. I would say it's difficult, and I get where they're coming from, but I would never say it's unfairly difficult. I think games like Mega Man can be unfairly difficult, but I think this was difficult, but actually a challenge which is you can adapt to. It's an adaptable game.
Yeah.
So I'd
I'd say
say
it
that
was.
they're justified in what they're saying, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily the truth.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Right, what should we do next? Cornwall?
Yeah, I think it's time. Yes, it is Cornwall time. We've
It is
kind of
time.
gone over just about every point we can do.
Okay, Cornwall. Right, so
Here we go.
1 to 5, GoldenEye N64, Hercules PS1, Aladdin Mega Drive, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone PSX, and Goosebumps for the PC. And the bottom 5 are Spider-Man 1 for the GameCube, Little Nicky for the Game Boy Color, Back to the Future Part 1 for the NES, The Crow PS1, and Wayne's World SNES. So the only game that's also on the Game Boy Color is Little Nicky, which we did not like.
No, and it's above Little Nicky, that's for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, this is quite difficult actually.
So what's above Little Nicky at the moment?
Spider-Man 1.
So Little Nicky is 12, 11 is Spider-Man 1, 10 is Gremlins, 9 is Friday the 13th, 8 is Finding Nemo.
Shit. This is difficult because, to be honest, I'd put it above Gremlins.
Yeah.
But then a part of me wants to put it below Moonwalker.
Yeah, I'm stuck in the same kind of area.
Yeah. So it's in that kind of 8,
It's
9
between-
sort of region.
I think it's 7, 8, or 9. I think it's a very tough one because
It
considering
is.
the Game Boy Color,
Yeah, I'd give it better than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
because the Game Boy Color I thought it's quite a solid game for the
It
Game Boy
is.
Color.
Yeah.
I'd probably put it under Moonwalker, so I put it above Finding Nemo at number 8.
Yeah, so it pushes Nemo to 9.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
I'm trying to remember Finding Nemo. I did play it when I was younger.
It was only because Finding Nemo was good fun, but as you said, Tom, if it was like a 3D Spyro game, that would have been
fucking
so
cool.
much better.
It would be fucking
It had a
cool.
lot more potential.
It lost its potential, and also that is for the PS2. And on Cash Grab, we like to be shit. Do we like to be impartial, or we like to be partial? Which one is it?
We like to be impartial.
That's it. We like to be impartial, and so we take into account the game
what
on
the
console.
system could do. Yeah.
So just because, for example, Finding Nemo's on the PlayStation 2 and far more advanced than Back to the Future isn't necessarily why it's above it. It's above it for the mechanics and the gameplay of the game.
Yes.
So we're going to take that into account with Action Man, of course, and it is for the Game Boy Color. But I would, I'm going to agree with you. I'd put it at number 8 below Moonwalker.
I enjoyed the game. Surprisingly, I enjoyed the game, especially compared to the shit show that came before it.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
And yeah, I put it quite high up.
Well, here's a point actually. Considering, our games in the top, say 7 now, that top 7, that top half, they're some of them, very good games going into like games that I think are absolutely fucking fantastic, like Aladdin, Hercules, GoldenEye.
Yep.
And obviously we've got some of the worst on the bottom. And this game literally is middle ground. It's pure like white bread middle ground. Not to say it's bad, but it's a very average game.
I don't know. I thought it was a bit more above average.
Okay.
Oh,
shit!
I wouldn't
it
say
can't go above Moonwalker. Though.
No, I don't think it's going to go above Moonwalker.
I wouldn't say it's great, but I did enjoy it.
I think it's one of those things. Yeah.
For a portable Game Boy Color game, I could imagine if I had
This
it.
is portable. This is our first portable game.
No, it's not.
our second.
We've had a Game Boy Color already.
if I
That's
had-
true, Little Nicky.
If I had it and I was traveling around, a bit younger, and it's like, well, I mean, sometimes when I go,
I hope you weren't travelling around when you were younger.
all the time.
No, you should have accompanied by an adult.
It's like when I'm traveling on tour or if I'm working away from home. It's good to have something. I don't think I'd choose this game, but if it was there, if it was one of the few games I had
It's
on the
playable.
console, I'd bring it along.
Yeah, when I had a Game Boy Color, if I had this game, I'd be happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So should we put it at number 8?
I'm saying number 8. Yep. So it's going below Moonwalker and above Finding Nemo. Wow. I think that's fair. I think that's very fair. Beautiful. The Game Boy Dollar.
Yeah, but GBD.
GBD. The
GBC.
Game Boy Dollar.
Right, yeah, I think that's fair. So would you play this game again? Would you carry on playing it?
Well, I mean, like, given kind of free reign and the choice of free will, considering all the other things that could be played, I wouldn't say I would. But if I had to choose, for example, between this game and like another kind of Game Boy Color game, I could find myself playing this. I could find myself picking it over a lot of other Game Boy Color games.
If I found myself with absolutely nothing to do and just going through one of those phases where I do pick up like,
You got a bit of a hankering for action, man?
well, my old Game Boy,
Always.
and I just play through Donkey Kong, Kirby, Mario. Yeah, I'd pick it up.
Can I
I'd play it again.
Can I throw something out there quickly? Would have been a more true, like, Action Man game if you had the capability to take all of his clothes off.
No. So the thing that I liked about it was like the way that you had all the different costumes and they had all the different abilities, which is just like the Action Man that you used to play with. Like you had the different types of Action Man with the different abilities, and it was like that.
With more clothes.
I thought it was good, and you know what? I probably would play it again because
Yeah.
I recently played through the Shinobi 2 on the Game Gear because it was a game I had when I was a kid, and I found my Game Gear and I was like, oh my god, I got like the 12 million AA batteries, whatever it fucking needs to run, and then I ran about 2 hours and I was able to get a decent playthrough of it, and I really enjoyed it, but it's really tough.
Oh yeah.
But
Super challenging.
I probably would. Like one day I'd wake up on like a Sunday and be like, you know what, fuck it, I'll play
Why
Action
not?
Man for a
Yeah,
couple of
yeah.
hours. Like, why not?
Yeah.
It is a good laugh.
Fucking cool. Yeah. Okay. So on to the final question, and our namesake is Action Man. Search for base X. Is it search for base X? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Base X.
Searching for base X. Is it a cash grab? And remember, keeping in mind times, because times and dates are always very important when it comes into cash grab. This was released a year and 1 day after the episode we watched, and 20 days before the start of season 2.
See, this is the thing. I don't think that, because it's a TV series as well, I don't think that plays a big role. But
Yeah, to be honest, because I think there's a point where dates make it a cash grab, or they just make promotional sense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
But promotional sense can obviously all dates when it comes to like releasing of movies, films, game, all media is like thought out and planned for its best promotional chances.
yes.
But at the same time, when it comes to close calls and tie-ins, it can be very much a part of quick cash grabs.
I do agree, but it doesn't make sense that they'd release this game between season 1 and 2, like midpoint, because they'd be like,
Yeah.
well, no one's there for it. Like, the audience isn't aware.
Yes.
Whereas they released it 20 days before, like, the audience is getting geared up for it. And yeah, you can say that makes it a cash grab, and you can go now, but you can also go, well, yeah, but they also wanted their fans to see the game.
Yeah.
So I think it's a tough one, but it can go either way. But I personally don't think this was a cash grab.
Okay. Dan?
See, I definitely don't have a problem with the timings and the dates.
Yeah.
But of course, it's a franchise in itself. Action Man is a huge thing.
Yeah.
At the time.
Massive.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, anything attached to the name, badly made, would still sell.
That's true.
Like that goes without saying.
But was 2000, was Action Man still big in the 2000s? Like,
I mean,
the
I
way
think
it
they
was?
were-
I think mid to late 90s was its peak.
Yeah.
Especially like 97, 98. I think
I think
that was peak. But I
this-
still think he was like very
Yeah,
popular.
he was still a big
Yeah.
character.
That's a good point though, because I think at this point it must have been coming to the end of its life.
Yeah,
And they were
closing
trying to
in.
reimagine it. That's why instead
True.
of being a military man, they was extreme sports. That's
true.
the hook they were trying
That
to do.
is true, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think they were trying something new with it,
Yes.
which is interesting. I'd say it isn't a cash grab.
Okay.
I'd say it would.
I've got a point, right? And as soon as you said it, Steph, I thought to myself, I don't think it's a cash grab. The fact that this was put forward to Natsume to be developed, who are a company with a reputation of doing good games and have been for many years.
The only one I know of is Harvest Moon.
Yeah, but it's a series which is hugely successful. And the first Harvest Moon was on... I'm going to throw it out there and say it was the SNES, but I may be wrong. But I mean, there's been an established company for a while by this point, maybe even a decade. And so to bring it out to a company like Natsume means that they wanted a certain amount of quality control on their product.
Yeah.
And then also for it to be published through THQ, which at the time was one of the biggest publishers out there. And obviously that means that it can have the promotional, exposure to make it a decent selling game. But just the fact that Natsume were involved, and this wasn't necessarily their kind of, their forte of games. Just the fact that they had a kind of like a team like Natsume working on it means that actually there would have been a certain amount of quality control and care taken to make a half-decent video game.
Yeah, because Natsume have made a fair few games which could be similar. They've done like a few Power Rangers games. They've done quite a lot of Power Rangers games. They've done the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games onto Game Boy Color.
I had the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 on Game Boy Color actually.
Croc 2, solid game.
Legend.
Croc 2.
Yes, I mean they've done quite a lot.
Yeah, but I think I think it was a sound decision getting them, and I think it was a creative pursuit to get them. And at the same time, like, even though I was talking about the times and dates and the release and stuff, I don't think it necessarily ties in with the TV series as a quick cash grab. And I think it was just playing on kind of like, you know, the last remnants of success that they thought Action Man was going to have in the kind of noughties. And so I thought, let's make a half decent game, kind of see things out with a bang.
Yeah, and I
don't think it's a cash grab.
And I think they pulled it off well. Like, it's a very good game.
Yeah.
And I think, if anything, if they'd based the game more on the actual TV show it was attached to, it would have gone completely downhill because the TV show was rubbish.
True.
That's
true.
very true.
Yeah.
The only thing they based it on was the same name and the same name for the enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy.
I mean, for all we know, the enemy does like live in a space station. We don't know, but
yeah.
But yeah, as far as we can tell, there's not really, because we're not doing any extreme sports. Thank God.
Not too much plot to the game, but I mean, there was enough to the game itself.
But it doesn't need to be much plot to a Game Boy Color game.
No.
But there you go. We're unanimous. It's not a cash grab.
Not a cash grab.
There you go.
Lovely.
Bloody hell.
Okay.
Right. So
What's
that was Traction Man. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and share the videos about and all that jazz. And thank you for watching. And give us more suggestions, because we're always wanting more ideas and more suggestions of video games or movies or like tie-ins that you could think of. Follow us on Twitter at CashGrabPodcast. And you can also check us out on SoundCloud and iTunes and all that jazz. So please do all of that.
And remember, viewers, remember our catchphrase.
First of all, never take candy from strangers.
Well, that one as well.
And secondly, always be sure to check it out, dial it in, and amp it up. I am Tom, and this has been Cash Grab, episode 16, Action Man. Check it out, amp it up, dial it in again, check it out, and then amp it up one more time. One more time. All together now, all together. 3, 2, 1.
Amp it up.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.